Elo Hell is the place that everyone wants to escape from in their ranked games. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to rank up at all. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I managed to escape Elo Hell and how you can as well very, very easily. Now, I want to make it clear right away that Elo Hell is not a rank. There isn't any specific rank that is Elo Hell or a rank that is incredibly hard or borderline impossible to get out of. Elo Hell is often what people run into when their natural skill increase starts to decline. You see, just by playing the game of Overwatch, just by grinding in general, you automatically improve. Every single game you play, whether it's a win or a loss, you're learning things, you're applying things, and you're getting better. And this is why you could say on average, someone that's played the game 1,000 hours would be better than someone that's played the game 100 hours. But at a certain point, everyone finds where they would naturally lie, where the automatic improvement that you go through, the improvement cycle, the learning, the gradual improvement as you play more and more games, that starts to fade, and then you end up in what I would call Elo Hell, the place where no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, it feels like you cannot climb yourself out. Now, every single person's Elo Hell is going to be different based on natural talent, based on the characters they main, based on their past FPS history. There's a lot of factors that could actually contribute to where you would naturally meet that wall that everyone runs into. But the thing is, regardless of how good you are automatically as a gamer, no matter how much natural talent you have, you will eventually and inevitably hit a wall that you could call Elo Hell if you don't learn the tools to escape it. Because without it, you're gonna feel like a truck stuck in like a giant pit of mud, where you're just spinning your tires. You're trying to learn things, you're trying to improve, spinning, and you're not going anywhere. And I understand wanting to blame people around you because you're getting throwers in one game, and then the next game you're getting a smurf on the enemy team, and the next game just doesn't matter how many kills you get, how much you heal, what you do for your team, you just can't seem to get a dub. But the reality of it is, and you know this deep down, if you were a higher caliber player, much more skilled, much more precise, knew what to do, how to act, what to position, and you were better mechanically, you could carry game after game. And you know this because you see it all the time. The whole definition of a smurf, or the whole idea of one, is someone coming down to a rank and just enforcing their skill on some group that's lesser in skill. This just automatically proves that if you become good enough and you become skilled enough, then you can push yourself through Elo Hell, just like everyone has. Everyone has run into the throwers, the smurfs, and have still managed to climb through in spite of those things. And everyone has also ran into that artificial ceiling of natural skill that they had to evaluate their own weakness and improve and push past it. So to understand Elo Hell is to understand that there are factors that you can't control, but if you were stronger and better, you could succeed in spite of those things. And I know that's like kind of brutal, blasted right in your face, right? It hurts to hear. But the reason I know this to be true so much is because I used to be someone that had a chip on my shoulder. I always blamed my team. I always blamed other people. No matter what I did, I could do no wrong. And this was why I was stuck so many hours in ranks like silver and gold and plat and diamond. And it took me a very long time to come to terms with the fact that I just wasn't talented, I wasn't good enough, I didn't do enough to carry. Doesn't matter how many kills I got, doesn't matter what I pulled off, it wasn't enough, it was never enough because I kept on getting trash teammates. But the reality of it is, those teammates never changed. The teammates, the bad teammates, that will never go away. The smurfs, that will never go away unless you're like in the highest ranks of play. You will always run into something else to blame, but the true way to improve and the true way to escape Elo Hell, just like I had to embrace in order to escape Elo Hell, is just understand that I needed to improve. There was things about my play that was lacking. There was things that I needed to do in order to have more impact. And the mentality that you have to have, the only mentality that works, is to understand that there is always more you can do and there's always less mistakes you can make. And this is always true. There's no such thing as a perfect Overwatch game. In every single game, players on all sides are making a ton of freaking mistakes. And honestly, in a lot of the lower ranks, many times you're making more mistakes than you're making good decisions. And all the way at the highest ranks of play, top 500, players are still making 10 huge mistakes or more in a game. The reality of a 5v5 is if you're solo queuing, you only have so much impact, but you can always carry more than your weight. And simple math will dictate that the more weight you carry, the more you stack the odds in your favor. Just like how the house always wins, you need to stack the odds in your team's favor game after game. And if you're not doing a lot, but maybe you're doing a little bit more than your weight, you will climb. It's just gonna take a freaking long time. But the more and more you do, the harder and harder you carry, the more and more of a reality it is for you to do enough to make up for all of the random mistakes that your team brings to the table. Let me break it down for you in simple math. Let's say that on average, every single teammate brings a value of 1 through 10 in impact. 10 is like they're a freaking grandmaster god smurf that is just coming through and smacking everybody. And 1 is someone that is borderline AFK, being just a body to distract the enemy. So there's 5 of you on each team. Every single person is bringing an average of 5 impact, and that means that both teams would have 25. On average, that's what it would be. But every once in a while, you run into that smurf, and then it's your 25 versus their 30, and you're losing those games. But those don't happen every single time. In fact, sometimes you'll be lucky enough to get the smurf, or the enemy team will get unlucky enough to get the thrower. But the reality of it is, if you're not an average 5, if you're an average 6, a 7, an 8, that means that every single team you're on, that means that you have a much higher chance of winning. Now, does this mean sometimes you could be an 8 or 9 in impact and you could have 3 1s on your team, 3 2s on your team, and the enemy team would beat you just with a solid 25 average? A team that isn't even good, they're just all playing average, and you still lose even though you're popping off? Absolutely, that can happen. Will that happen every game? No, it will not. It might happen once, it might happen twice, but it will not happen every single game. And you might say, Mills, this is a lot of grinding, and if I'm having such high impact, I don't want to go through these games, these highs and lows. I want to get the rank that I deserve right now. But the reality of it is, you don't deserve anything until you earn that rank. And if you think that you're going to be able to maintain a high average impact score, you know, those 6, 7s, and 8s over the course of a climb, right? As you're climbing, the average impact of every player is going up, and you need to become better and better to accommodate, right? If you want to have a higher impact in a higher rank, you need to become better. And if you're not willing to even grind out some of these hard games, like everyone that has ever climbed to a high rank has, then you're never going to be a high rank. And if that's what you want, that's perfectly fine. But you can't blame Elo Hell. You can't blame any arbitrary rank system, because at the end of the day, things don't matter, because regardless of how messed up a rank system is, if you are consistently bringing more value, more than your teammates, more than the enemy team, you are the single most impactful person in every single lobby, you will climb. I guarantee it. And that's the mentality that you need to have. That's the only mentality that you can embrace if you want to truly climb. And if I never would have embraced this idea, I never would have climbed at all. And I never would have became a coach, and I never would have became a content creator, and I would probably be working a goddamn office job. So yeah, I escaped both Elo Hell in game and in real life, and you can too. So come on, you can do it. But if you have any questions, definitely let me know down below. And if you want some private coaching to help you out, check out my Patreon. Links will be in the description. But thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you next time.